At T-Mobile, our critical mission is providing unparalleled 5G coverage for when connectivity is mission critical. Introducing T-Priority, America's best 5G network experience for first responders, even in times of congestion. More capacity, faster speeds, better coverage. T-Priority from T-Mobile, built for tomorrow's emergencies, ready today. Discover more at t-priority.com.
For qualifying organizations on eligible rate plans, coverage not available in some areas and may be impacted by emergencies.
Empower.
Claire is practicing her breathing for her upcoming yoga retreat in Bali. Has she ever done yoga before? No. But Claire worked with Empower on her savings and investment strategy. She got good at money, so she can be a little bad. Empower. Invest well, live a little. Join our 19 million customers today at empower.com.
Past performance is not indicative of future returns. Investing involves risk. You may lose money. Advisory services are provided for a fee by Empower Advisor Group, LLC, EAG, a registered investment advisor with the Securities and Exchange Commission. Om Namaste.
Revolutionize your cooking with the Tefal Infrared Air Fryer. Watch as your food crisps up through a large lighted window and delight in faster, crispier, and juicier results with no preheating thanks to Tefal's advanced infrared technology. Discover the future of cooking and bring innovation into your kitchen by visiting tefal.com.
Hello, welcome back to Don't Blame Me Pod. Don't blame me. Your tongue is very pink. Did you have candy?
Did I?
What's
It
up?
is very pink. No, I had cake. It was.
Oh, okay.
And it had purple icing on it.
If anybody watches the Patreon, Melissa's tongue is almost magenta. Like my tongue.
I mean, it was
tongue.
purple icing. Sonam got a cake because she wanted to do that Walmart trend of people getting the heart cakes.
Mm-hmm. She didn't want to spend the $200, $300 on the tiny home baker to use a box mix.
Yep. The Walmarts here don't do the heart cakes.
No, because the Walmarts here aren't Walmarting like the Walmarts other places.
Yes, but they did do a very nice round purple. It was very cute.
Cute.
And it was only like $20, I think. And I told her, I was like, that cake is gonna be fucking delicious. She was like, I don't believe you. We got it. Well, it wasn't like I don't believe you, but it was more like, yeah, okay, it's Walmart.
No, grocery stores make phenomenal cakes.
Walmart cakes hit even different.
They really do.
Yeah. And I was like it's gonna be good. And I said, don't tell anybody where you got the cake. And everybody was talking about how good the cake was. And I said, mm-hmm. And then she told them after, and she's like, yep. Huh?
I think it might be Sam's Club. I don't think it might be Costco too, but I do know that there's like a sheet cake that everybody uses for their wedding that and it's it's either Costco or Sam's Club, and everybody says that it's one of the best cakes you'll ever have.
Yeah.
But you just wouldn't know, and they don't make it in wedding cake form.
Yeah.
So there's only so many ways to have it. But as a kid, one of my favorite ways to kill time when someone's with an adult shopping at the grocery store, I'm going to just hang out in the cake and just flip through all of the options for what I would want my cake to be. Never got one of those cakes, but they looked so fun.
Still fun time.
I still remember one that specifically had ice cream cone. It was I think it was supposed to be a castle or a sandcastle, and it had 4 ice cream cones on the corners and then filled up with frosting to oh my God, it was beautiful. And I wanted the cake that had Barbie stuck in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
I actually think that my grandma, the fun one, might have done that for me one time. And my aunt.
That's sweet.
Not the one who's a bitch and being like, fatty, you can't come to the pool looking like that. And I was like, ma'am, your walls are yellow. You can't stop chain smoking. Who here has the bigger problem? I think you do. And she's dead. So I win. Anyways, welcome. We're going to give you wonderful, amazing, life-changing advice. And if you're wondering, how are we qualified to give such good advice? Well, we've been doing the show for a very long time. And because we said so.
Mm-hmm.
What we lack in credentials, we make up for in
opinions. That's been a while.
I know. So there are multiple ways you can participate in the show.
What the fuck did you just do that?
I'm so tired. I'm running on fumes with a lowercase f.
Well,
it's gonna get kooky.
Get on here with me. I feel like that nap.
I don't know Wait, when did you nap?
The one I had. Okay, so this is what happened. I got home at 10:30ish, close to 11, and then I had to shower, can't be outside, and then come inside. And then I started editing around 11:30, 12, and I was like, this isn't going to work. So then I went to sleep, and I was like, it'll just be like a quick 20. I woke up 20 minutes, felt like I hadn't done anything, but I went to sleep immediately. That's how tired I was. And then I woke up again 30 minutes later, and I said, still not good.
Enough.
Went back to sleep. So it was probably about 2:00 when I woke up again.
Mm-hmm.
And then I finished the edit, went to sleep around 7, then woke up at 10.
So how long was the first stretch in total before you went back? You went to sleep at 7.
Probably like 2 hours.
So then 7 to 10. So that's 5 hours.
Mm-hmm. And I usually need 8 hours to function.
And I fell asleep at probably 3 or 3:30. And then I had a hard time falling asleep. And then I woke up at 7:30 or 8.
Okay. I had more sleep towards the end.
Yeah. I think that's probably it.
Yeah. The crash is coming.
That's what they say about the stock market too. I actually don't know what they're talking about the stock market.
Why did you try to make it sexual though?
Because at this point, I'm just trying to have fun. There's never any good news when it comes to finance. It's not like, hey, everybody's making money. It's always like, stuff started to get real bad. And like, we can't even, like, last time I tried to make a joke of being like, before we bought our house, being like, hoping for the next recession so we can buy a house. People are like, this is deeply insensitive. I'm like, okay, at what point can we joke about it? Like,
never. And
that to me is like, not, like, I'm going to get up here and be a comedian and say, well, I can't say anything anymore. I can't even make jokes about the recession.
Wow.
And that's where I say, can't say anything. People get offended at everything these days.
And welcome to Megan's a Republican, brought to you by
hey guys,
Tesla.
Today I'm coming out as a Republican. I peel my skin mask off underneath. I have my tattooed eyeliner and my incredibly chunky old mascara and a permanent sty because I won't get a new one. Hi, everybody. Seed oils. I love RFK and I just get exceedingly angry.
You know what? His wife, I'll never forgive her for posting. This was recently posting after she had said they were separated, and then quickly when he got into the White House, she's like, nah. But she has her own company. I'm not sure what it is. It might be skincare, it might be vitamins. I don't know, but she has some company. And she posted a video of her talking about said product with him in the background in the shower. And that's how everybody knew they weren't separated again. It was a glass door and it was just strategically placed so you couldn't see his pee-pee. But he was very much naked and showering.
To see what the worm did to his face, I don't want to see what the worm did to the rest of that body. That is none of my business.
I should not know him.
No.
All I should know is that, yeah, that's Robert Kennedy's son.
That's Jack's uncle.
Mm-hmm.
Right? That's his uncle.
Mm-hmm.
Well, anyways, if you want to call into this podcast, the phone number is 310-694-0976. International listeners, you can send us an audio message, not an audio massage. That's traumatizing for Melissa, especially.
No, but I would love to give somebody an audio massage. Hi there.
No, okay.
Why don't you come in the room and disrobe and then lie on the table under the blanket?
Ew. Okay.
Do you want the table warmed up for you? Okay. Let me know how hard you like it.
Very Kate Hudson when she's like, can I order a dirty, filthy, slutty little fucking martini? God, I love that one. You can email us at meghanpodcast@gmail.com for all of them, the audio message and the voice message. Oh, and you can also DM us on Instagram. You have to be 18 or over.
Use our form.
Oh, there's a form now too. Right. You have to be 18 or over or have your parents' permission, and you have to tell us how old you are. And then for the audio message and the voicemail, you have to keep it under 3 minutes. And for the email as well as the DM, keep it under 300 words. But we do need to know how old you are, this situation that you're going through. Give us the examples. We are not in your head, so like we don't know everything. So explain it as best as you can. with the most relevant information so we can give you the best advice possible. And there's no like extension. So if you like forget something and be like, oh, I'll just add it in another call. We're not gonna do that. It gotta be in one concise thing. But you can also write everything down that you want to say, practice a few times, and then just read it out loud. Or use the form if you're like not feeling like you want to, your words are fitting today.
Yeah. And the form also has a link where you can upload audio too. So,
and make sure you follow us on Instagram so you can see every week when Melissa posts unhinged graphics on the story to remind you to fill out the form for the upcoming episode.
I put the number on there too. They got options.
It's, I'm always impressed by the levels and places of the internet that you go that I have never or rarely seen or not seen in conjunction before.
I impressed myself too. You want to see an elephant in a thong? I found it.
I got that. You want it? I got it. Should we hop into the first?
Let's do it, Megan.
Hey, Eminem, longtime listener, Rosette era. Oh my God. First time writing in.
Do you want to explain what that means?
I'd rather not. No.
Okay.
No, it's my very old school YouTube username. Some
Megan
people are like,
Rosette.
I've known you forever. Like, I remember you from Beauty Break. And then other people will like have their long cigarette. They go, I remember Megan Rosette. I'm like, yeah, now those bitches have been around. I should have picked up my prop cigarette that I made for an audition that's on the ground. I, 23 female, moved far from my hometown and started work where my friend, 25 female, was. I wanted more experience, and she told me about the opening. She was newly single in the fall and became obsessed with guys, demanding FaceTime calls, and wouldn't listen when I just wanted to talk. She bullies people out of quote-unquote love, such as nagging me to drink. She sucks. Getting upset if it wasn't enough or about what it was, making fun of pronouncing things differently than her, and arguing about who was right or wrong, calling me a bad driver, knowing that I'd gotten into an accident years ago, calling me emotionally immature to other people because I don't want kids. We've had combos with no changes. Recently, during a bad shift, she made a dig towards me about a new hire, already doing everything alone. When I confronted her, she rolled her eyes. I sent her a text saying we should talk in person and explained everything I'd been feeling. She didn't respond for 3 days, and she said the friendship had been quote-unquote draining her. I said we should take time apart. Her silence said enough since she gets upset at others for the things that she does to me, including the silent treatment, and that I hope that we can remain professional. She replied saying that I've constantly been attacking her, that she's been supportive, that she got me the job and has been more of a friend than I have, basically turning the conversation back onto me being quote unquote wrong. I feel crazy because she'd constantly call me sensitive and needy when bringing this stuff up. How do you handle a bad friendship breakup? Am I wrong for being upset by these things? Please be gentle. I can be sensitive, Pisces. Oh, you can be very sensitive.
I don't like this broad. How is she saying that your friendship is emotionally draining after you brought it up that you needed a break? If she's drained from your friendship, then why isn't she happy about this break too? Because if I was in an emotionally draining friendship and somebody came to me and was like, yeah, you've been really making my battery deplete, then I would be happy that somebody wants to have a friendship break.
Yeah.
She's
like,
a liar.
Thanks for doing the work for me.
Yeah.
Like, amazing. Wonderful. And I'll probably be like, oh, I totally understand.
A mature person would be like, yeah, I understand. I've been feeling the same way about this friendship. We should have a break. Not then trying to guilt trip you into continuing the friendship.
You've also said nothing positive about her, which doesn't necessarily mean that like you hadn't had any positive interactions with her. Like this, you're obviously writing from the point of view where you're currently in, but you didn't say how you guys met. So you moved from your hometown and started work where your friend was. And so you're 2 years apart. So to me, this is like, if you've known each other since like, I don't know, high school or whatever, like a freshman being friends with a junior, there's that like age gap kind of a thing. When you're younger can really feel like, oh, I'm just like teaching you the ropes. I'm leading you. I'm helping. I'm doing all of those kinds of things. And that there is actually no basis of friendship there. Like I'm a project then. I'm a pet. I'm a Barbie. Like I'm none of those things. And then when you start to, you know, not enjoy that or push back on it or have a little bit more of a backbone, it becomes like, oh my God, what am I even doing this for? And it's like, quite literally, no one asked you to do this. doesn't sound like she even really knows how to be a friend, let alone a fucking coworker, because this is just like a level of drama that I would never willingly bring into my personal life and as well as my professional life at the exact same fucking time. Like, that's just too goddamn much. But shitty friendship breakups, they very much suck. I will say the turning it back on you is not uncommon. It's like that guy who you are trying to end things with, or like you don't match with, like you are interested in seeing on a dating app and you go, so sorry, like, you know, thank you, but I'm not interested. And he goes, I didn't like you anyway, you fucking slut. And it's like, okay, no, you did. Like, it's just the trying to spit out breaking up with you before you can finish the sentence because like they don't want to be the one who they want to feel the power and control. So I have to assume that that's what she's doing. It's not uncommon, but I like handling a bad friendship breakup. It sucks because it is a stereotype, but I think it's a stereotype for a reason because we do it. That like women in general, we mourn things while we're still in them. Like we'll, whether it's a relationship or whatever, that like not coming to the end of the decision to end this friendship on a whim. Like she's been a shitty fucking friend for I don't even know how long. So you have been mourning that as it's been happening. Like you've had to change your expectations, change your standards, change like what you kind of behavior you'll accept from this person to the point where it like gets to be too fucking much. And it is helpful at the same time as it like also sucks because you've probably been in a funk about this more, and like ending the friendship doesn't necessarily make it like, oh, this feels so much better. I have been through that. I've been through that recently. And my biggest advice is like pour into other things because it can be so easy to reminisce on and romanticize and like miss a relationship that like fundamentally does not exist anymore. It is in the past. And you need to have present things to compare it to. So like, even if it's just like a fun solo outing or making other friends, hanging out with people, whatever, and not having your memories of people, places, and things attached to her. Like you just have to put yourself out there the same way you would after a breakup.
Yeah, I agree with all that. It does make it difficult though, since y'all work together. Is there a way where you don't have to work as closely, or you have a different shift? I don't know what kind of job it is. Have a different shift, or, you know, I know you moved here for this job, but is there a similar job that you can look for in your town? Because I just, you know, I've worked with people where we no longer were friends, but I didn't have to see them every day. So it made it easier, but you do have to see her pretty much every day. So is there a way to work around that? Also, why was she jealous of somebody else that was already independent, working independently? Why was she jealous of that? She made a dig toward me about a new hire already doing everything alone. Or, maybe she was talking shit about you because the other coworker was already doing things alone and you're not. Is that what that meant?
Or were you supposed to be helping them? Or was it that they were, progressing faster than you? Like, I am also very curious about what this job is because she does not sound like a delight. She does not sound like wonderful to have in the classroom. She does not sound like a team. So like, I can't imagine unless she like, she owns this business or like it's her family or whatever. I can't imagine that she has like a wonderful reputation at work. Like there is something like talking shit can be bonding. Like that is like, I love to bond and talk shit with people about people, but like there is like a level of who I'm going to talk shit with and who I'm going to talk shit about. So if I had overheard a coworker talking shit about her best friend to her best friend, my other coworker, I wouldn't think less of you who's receiving the shit talk. It would be her who's saying all of this stuff. So I think that I just can't imagine that she's like beloved in the workplace. So I agree in the sense that like, if she's been able to be at this job for so long and like people love her, I think you should get out. Otherwise, I think that if you were her only friend in the work and everybody else hated her, I think she'll probably end up leaving. But she sucks.
I hope you don't have to work around her and are able to end this friendship. Like she's She's also trying to like use the fact that she got this job for you as a way to control you. And I don't like that.
I also hate that phrasing because I'm like, again, unless she owns the company or her family owns the company and you are an absolutely incompetent employee that they are having to work twice as hard, all of that stuff for, she didn't get you a job. She probably got you an interview and you got yourself the job.
Mm-hmm.
So she sounds like she's stuck in high school, and I'm going to bet she peaked in high school.
All right. We're going to take a break. When we get back, we'll get into some more.
We are so excited to have a brand new sponsor, and I'm feeling very cool because Jesse and Lily are sponsored by OneSkin, and now we are.
Yay!
We are finally here. Skincare, we love skincare. We're all about it. And let's talk about peptides for a minute. If you're like me, you're seeing them everywhere. Peptide this, peptide that, peptide. It's almost a tongue twister. Just because something says peptide on it doesn't actually mean that it's really doing anything for you, but that is where OneSkin's OS1 peptide is different. Some peptides just sit on top of the skin, and OS1 goes deeper. It's scientifically formulated to penetrate the cells within skin's deeper layers, which improves key skin health markers like collagen production, hydration, and my personal uphill battle constantly, skin barrier function.
I think that's both of our uphill battles.
Truly.
I was so excited to get this as well because I just ran out of my other moisturizer, so it was perfect timing. Not only is OS1 proven to remain stable from the lab to the countertop, so you get reliable results every time. And guys, listen, if you're not getting results from your peptides, it might be time to take a closer look. All of OneSkin's topical supplements are backed by lab and clinical studies. And they're all powered by OS1 peptide, the first and only peptide that is scientifically proven to target senescent cells that contribute to lines, wrinkles, and thinning skin. Try OneSkin with an exclusive 15% off your first purchase using Blame Me at oneskin.co.
I love these products. I've been trying out the Essential Moisturizer and the Essential Eye Cream. And for me, eye cream is one of those things that like, I love a little luxury eye cream. I love to like feel that, but specifically the older that I get, and also sometimes if my sleep is not that great, I really notice the lines under the eyes, and I always want my makeup to apply better. And what I love about this is it looks so nice if I put it on, no makeup on, but I also can apply makeup on it. It's not just for like that really rich overnight kind of a thing. It's really a daily thing that you can use, and it just looks and feels really good. And the moisturizer.
Oh, can I talk about that? Because sometimes my skin is very dry and scaly. Sometimes my skin is very oily. Sometimes my skin, I'm like, what even is this? But this face moisturizer is perfect. It goes on very smooth. It's not too thick, but you can feel the moisture in it. And then afterwards, after it's like really soaked in, you can just feel just how supple your skin is.
That's the perfect word, supple. And just like us, OneSkin loves science. So glad to hear. We love science in this house.
We do love science.
And OneSkin's entire R&D process is run in-house, strictly adhering to the rigor of scientific process from start to finish. Every claim is based on lab or clinical studies, and it's documented.
Founded and led by an all-woman team of skin and longevity scientists, OneSkin is redefining the aging process with their proprietary OS1 peptide, the first ingredient proven to help skin look, feel, and behave like its younger self.
Get 15% off with code BLAMEME at oneskin.co. That's 15% off oneskin.co with code BLAMEME. After your purchase, they'll ask where you heard about them. Please support our show and tell them that we sent you. Invest in the health and longevity of your skin with OneSkin. Your future self will thank you.
There are many ways to entice a potential new customer with flashy branding and calculated marketing strategies. But at the end of the day, the success of a business comes down to the ability to close the sale. And for businesses like Thrive Cosmetics, Allbirds, or Skims, it's what goes on behind the scenes, making selling, and for shoppers, buying, simple that makes the difference. For them and for millions of businesses, that difference is made with Shopify. Businesses that want to grow with Shopify. Because if your goal is growth, your commerce platform better be ready to sell wherever your customers are scrolling or strolling, and Shopify will make sure you're ready. on the web, in your store, in their feed, and everywhere in between. Nobody does selling better than Shopify. And with Shop Pay, they boost conversions up to 50%, meaning way less carts going abandoned and way more sales going. It's no wonder Shopify is home of the #1 checkout on the planet. Upgrade your business and get the same checkout Allbirds uses. Sign up for your $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/realm, all lowercase. Go to shopify.com/realm to upgrade your selling today. That's shopify.com/realm. I'm someone who genuinely does enjoy cooking. Until it's 6 p.m. on a Thursday, I'm tired and I just cannot muster the energy to make a full meal that I'm so desperately craving. In the past, that exact scenario would usually lead me to order out, spending way too much money for food that ultimately didn't leave me feeling great. Now though, I am so happy to have a better option with Factor, and their delicious, healthy meals are ready in even less time than it'd take to order takeout. Factor has chef-made gourmet meals that make eating well easy. Their meals are dietitian approved and are ready to heat and eat in 2 minutes. These aren't some sad frozen meals either. They all arrive fresh and fully prepared, and I genuinely look forward to my box each week. I had never really been a fan of cauliflower rice, but it was in one of my meals last week with queso fundido and ground beef, and safe to say I've changed my tune on that one. They have 40 options across 8 dietary preferences on the menu each week, and you can choose from preferences like protein plus, carb conscious, and fiber filled, so it's easy to pick meals tailored to your goals. Beyond their meals, I've also really enjoyed Factor's cold pressed juices, and they've got plenty of add-ons like wholesome smoothies, breakfasts, and grab-and-go snacks, so I'm very excited to try those in my upcoming boxes as well, because my less than nutritious snacking habits are next on my list to tackle. If you're looking for convenient ways to optimize your nutrition this year, eat smart with Factor. Get started with factormeals.com/factorpodcast and use code FACTORPODCAST to get 50% off your first box, plus free shipping. That's code FACTORPODCAST at factormeals.com/factorpodcast to get 50% off plus free shipping on your first box.
We are back and it's time for the next one.
Hi, Meghan and Melisa. Excuse me. Sorry, popcorn one. Sorry. So I am 27 years old, and I need advice with my relationship. Nothing wrong with my relationship. It's more of me. So my partner, 30, we've been together for 10 months now, and it's been so great so far. I love it. I love them, and they're just amazing. But however, here's my little problem. I think I'm turning into Mr. Krabs. You know the episode of SpongeBob where Mr. Krabs starts dating Mrs. Puffin and starts buying her like a crazy amount of stuff and starts spending a lot of stuff and it's like, oh my god, I'm spending a lot of money, and then starts blaming SpongeBob and everything. Well, I'm doing that, except not crazy stuff. I'm buying them stuff that's like useful and stuff that I know that they need or mentioned. Like I got them a Brita filter because I remember they said that they accidentally broke it. Well, actually the dog broke it, but and like I got them pepper spray. I got them like just stuff that I know that they would need, and even like a date night, so it's mostly me paying for the stuff, which again I don't mind. But even they're noticing, they're like, hey baby, it's okay if I pay for stuff. But like also I was raised to, I don't know, my parents like told me to never let anyone pay for my stuff, but then again I'm autistic and I take things a little bit too literal. So I'm just like, I don't know, I have that guilt of like never, I don't know, I never let anyone pay for my stuff like at all because I feel guilty. And then again I have my parents like saying, did anyone pay for your stuff? And if I say yes, they yell at me. I don't know. I know I'm grown, but still, it's just that, I don't know, something in the back of my head. I hear my parents saying, don't let anyone pay for your stuff. And like, I don't know. And every time they do, I feel guilty. I don't know, like, I just do. And like, I don't know, like, and like, I don't, and like, even like the gifts I get them, like for Valentine's Day, Christmas, and their birthday is a little bit also expensive, like for Waskies and a flow for a coat. And what else did I get them? I don't know, something expensive, but like still, like, I don't know, like, I just like, how do I not overspend on my partner, but also how do I let them pay for my stuff without that guilt, especially with how I was raised? And also another not so serious advice, how do I comfortably fart in front of my partner? Because I remember an episode of Beauty Break where Jessie Smiles said that she held it apart for so long in front of someone who she was on a date with, not the person that she's currently with, someone else. And she said that she held in that fart for like 8 hours, went to the bathroom, tried to fart, nothing came out, and then she forced that person to drive you to the hospital. And I don't want to do that, especially with someone who already has stomach problems. So yeah, how do I not overspend on my partner and also let them pay for my stuff? And how do I comfortably fart on my partner? Sorry. Two crazy things, but like still. Would appreciate the advice. Love you guys. Love the pod. And yeah, hope you guys have a great day. Love you guys.
We love you too. We don't say that to just everybody.
No.
Wait, so I fear you. Have you been holding in a fart for 10 months?
Do you not know how to crop dust? Like that's how you start.
You walk up. Also, you don't even need to stand up, go to the bathroom.
Yeah.
And then fart in the bathroom. Flush, you waste the water. Sorry, sue me. Wash your hands and then come back out. Like, and then slowly walk into the kitchen to fart. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
you know, whatever.
That's why I feel like crop dusting is the way, because somebody would be like, if it's just the two of you, he'll know that you farted if he can smell it. And then he could make a comment. Maybe he's too shy to make a comment, but you could say something like, oh, I'm sorry, I just farted. We got to get this gas out.
I would have already been in the hospital. Like, the only rule that Mats and I have is no farting your faces. Like, what? No. And like, if you have to fart and you're standing up, take a couple steps away. Don't just like fart in my vicinity. But if we're on the couch or whatever, like you either need to be under, like you are under your own individual blanket or your butt is away if it's a quick fart and you're like, I'm not able to get up and move out of the way.
How are y'all sharing? I'm assuming that you've shared a bed a time or two.
There's one of you has farted.
You've definitely farted at sleep. People on average fart 8 times during their sleep at night.
Imagine if you're holding in your farts for the entire day.
You're farting about 30 times.
Your asshole is just wind blowing the whole time you're in bed. So
also,
I know.
And I won't say that.
I thought about that too. I was like, come on. We can do hard things. We've done harder things. We've done other things there.
Yes.
So,
but you know what we're saying.
Yeah.
I'll DM you.
Yeah, if you don't. If you think you know, you know. Also, farts are objectively funny. What you want is the next time, or you could just peel the Band-Aid off and just like straight up just fart. And there are times where I
rip one.
Like fart, and it'll be, if it's silent, I don't wait until he's not. I literally go, please hold your breath because I just farted and I bet it's gonna smell so bad. Or I farted this morning so loud. Mats was like leaning over to give me like a kiss while I was like half asleep and he'd leave early for a morning. And I farted so loud and then I immediately did, oh my God, what was that? I'm scared from that vine. Like
one time we were recording. Well, we were just chatting and you were doing your makeup or something and you farted. And I was like, did you just fart? And you said, yeah. And then we just kept going. Like, it's not, I was just like thrown off because I hadn't heard
you're like, oh, haven't heard that one from you before. Like, I am so fundamentally against holding in your farts because I had such severe anxiety as like a kid and a preteen that like I would make myself sick because I would not fart at school. And then I started having food intolerance issues. And then it was no longer a choice really. But like, I wish I could be someone who could just like poop in a public bathroom. I can't. I can't
either.
So my body will not let me. So my little act of rebelling every day is if I have to fart, I will let that bitch go. And I do think there's a theme to this call. And that is not let your freak flag fly. It is do things out of spite. So the idea that like, you're supposed to be like, you know, delicate and like, you shouldn't be like farting is gross and it's not attractive or whatever. Fuck that. That's a system in place. It's capitalism. It's patriarchy, all of that. So to rebel, fart. The aspect of, oh, I feel guilty. My partner wants to spend money on me and like, I shouldn't accept that. No. Think of this as a fuck you in the face to capitalism or stimulating the economy.
When your parents were ingraining these things into you, it was because one, they didn't want like friends paying for things. And then two, it was the patriarchy. Like you should be paying for things, but things have changed. You're not who you were when you were a child. And, you know, you in a relationship, unless you want to be their sugar person, like you gotta let them pay for things. If you don't want to, I'm not in your pockets. I'm sure you're not going broke, but it needs to be fair. It's got to be a fair thing. And if your partner, if it like, I understand like being nice, like I bought you a Brita filter, but you can't be doing that all the time where like your partner was like, oh, I was going to get that. And at some point it might just, resentment might build up.
Well, and also you talk about like, it seems like you like getting, like you enjoy getting things for them. It makes you feel good. And they want to do the same thing for you. So like give them that opportunity. I so understand this mentality. I would, so like a first date, I'm letting the dude pay. Like before we're in a relationship, like you're paying. And then like the closer I am with someone, like once Mons and I were dating, I was like, I feel bad. Like I'm just not, I also wasn't raised with like money like that. So like that there's just like I'm so incredibly like scarcity complex with money. Like I don't spend a lot of money. I save my money. I'm like very smart with my money because I also can't do basic multiplication and addition and subtraction, and that does not help with that. And I still don't have great financial literacy and like all of those kinds of things. And so for me, I tied money to freedom and independence. And so like I not like on hoarding resources in a way, but like in a way that like I don't want to ever have to rely on somebody. But I was also wanted people to be able to like, I didn't want to have to count on anybody, but I also wanted people to be able to count on me. And I realized I'm like, that's like so not fucking fair. Like that, because it doesn't create an even relationship in that way at all. And it also, if you don't at a certain point start to share money or exchange like back and forth like that, you never will learn how to have a relationship with money with your partner. Like it has to happen at some point. And I would say that like, looking back on it now, like our who pays more or whatever has always fluctuated based on like our jobs or whatever. And I would say that like the past 3-ish or so years is like the first time that like I've ever really like let Mott's buy me things when he wants to. And he loves it. Like he gets so happy and so excited and like wants to like, he's like, I want to get this for you. Or, like if we go like thrifting and I'm like, oh, this is cute. And then I'll go and hang something and then he'll be like, oh, I already bought these ones for you. I love them. I thought and like, I see how much joy that brings him. But then also like, I really worked at like figuring out what to get him for Valentine's Day. And like, I was so excited for him to open it and see that. And I think like, if we only let that go one way, like Melissa said, it will build resentment. But even if before it gets to the building resentment place, it just makes money a stickier conversation. And the longer you're together and the more serious your relationship is, the quicker you need to start talking about money. And I have I'm very uncomfortable talking about like with money, like not like, oh, how much did you get paid? Very cool transparency and all of that. I just am constantly terrified that because I don't have good financial literacy, because I was not like raised in that way, that like feeling like I'm an idiot or I'm doing something wrong or I'm in trouble or whatever that is. And I've had to like work at that. And I think my life would be a hell of a lot better if I didn't have any of that baggage there. But I think if you can recognize that this is manifesting because you were really raised in this, like, you are the only one responsible for you, survival kind of thing, that you don't just grow out of that. You have to work your way out of that. And I think this is like a really good place to do that.
Agree. With
someone you love and care about. And 10 months? That's, how the time flies.
Congratulations.
Almost at a year. That's exciting.
All right, next one. Hi, Meghan and Melissa. I'm looking for advice on bridesmaids. I, 29, she, her, am getting married to my fiance, 31, he, him, summer 2026. We have 2 friends my fiance met through college, Paige, 26, she, her, and Jason, 27, he, him, who were supposed to be in our wedding. However, when we went to visit my fiance's family and friends out of state last month, Paige made me reconsider her. She got engaged early 2024 and is getting married late 2026. I got engaged December 2024. So this was the first time seeing everyone in person since. She didn't say anything to me in general, but also said nothing about the ring or congratulations. when we saw them 8 months later after their engagement, we still made sure to congratulate them in person and asked to see the ring. When my fiance's high school friend, who were also with us, Paige, has met them maybe 2 times, asked about my wedding, Paige would interject her own wedding plans and wouldn't let me say anything. She also made me feel guilty about having things like a videographer at my wedding because that is too expensive and a waste of money. Those are in quotes. Should I not ask her to be a bridesmaid to protect my mental health and not run the risk of her making my wedding events about her? My fiance has said he is good with whatever I decide. She is still invited to the wedding, but I feel guilty because my fiance's friend is Jason. My fiance wants to have the same number on both sides, so if I remove one, he feels he needs to. I am a Taurus sun, Libra rising, Cancer moon. Paige is a Cancer sun, and we are both only children, if that provides more context. Thanks. Don't have anybody in your wedding that you don't feel 100% sold on.
Wait, have you already asked her to be in your wedding?
Even if you haven't, I don't care. If you have or haven't, rescind it or like, don't ask her.
I just need that, like, if you've already asked her, I assume that, like, if you're close enough that I'm saying if you've already asked her to be your bridesmaid and you are close enough that you want her as your bridesmaid, I assume that you either FaceTimed her or called her after you got engaged, showed her the ring. You've talked in the 8-month sense, like you text all the time, like you're friends. Her not saying like, congratulations, like, let me see the ring. If you're close, like the only people who will be like, I haven't seen in 8 months, who are like, oh my gosh, like, let me see the ring, congratulations, are people I don't talk to and I have not spoken to. Like, nobody was like, oh my God, girl, like, show me the ring. Because first of all, you were there. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, so I'm just
yes,
like,
I was there.
That's what I'm saying. That I'm just kind of like, I think that, like, if it's like you have not asked her yet and it's really just because she is with Jason and your fiance wants to have even like, and some people really do believe in if you have one partner, the other one should also be in the wedding party. I fundamentally do not fucking believe that at all.
Me either.
At all. And if it's the case that you're like really not that close and you also haven't asked her, she should have never even been in the running to be a bridesmaid to begin with. But if like she is your good friend and you've already asked her to be your bridesmaid, I have to assume at some point in the last 8 months, you talk enough to ask her to be your bridesmaid that you probably FaceTimed her to show her the ring and like to do all of that. That like, I don't think it's a huge deal to say the first time I saw her in person, she didn't say congratulations. Like, it would be odd to me if, like, I don't know, Kyle, one of my very best friends, but who does not live in California, he knew Moss was proposing. I sent him FaceTimed immediately after, all of those kinds of things. If the first time I saw him, which was truly months later, when I think it was for my birthday or something, the first thing he says, like, oh my God, congratulations, let me see the ring. Because like, our friendship has moved past that point. Do you know what I mean? Like it is not topical in our relationship. And if your engagement and your ring is topical in your relationship 8 months after he proposed, you are not good enough friends for her to be a bridesmaid in your wedding at all.
Yeah. Like, it seems like you were just having her as a bridesmaid out of obligation because of Jason. I don't think that you don't like her. Like, no, it's very clear you don't like her and she's not the kind of person that you want in your wedding. There's so many people I know that don't even talk to most of their bridesmaids at this point anyway, post-wedding. Like, this should be an enjoyment and celebrated by people. She's going to be there. It's not like Jason's showing up dateless. She's still going to be there, just in the aisle where she belongs.
In the back.
And it seems like y'all are... And she's in a competition that you may not be aware of.
There's nothing I hate more than when I am somebody's number one op and I said, so sorry, I don't remember entering this pageant. Like, I didn't participate in this. I did not sign up. I didn't sign any forms for this. I also, not to be like read too much into it, what is your individual friend situation? Because you talk about him, like Paige and Jason?
Mm-hmm.
who are your fiance's friends from college. And then the next time you talk about hanging out with a group of people who are your fiance's high school friends. And
where are your friends?
Yeah. Because I've seen this. I mean, this happens in general, but I'm saying like I've seen this live in person with someone before where I didn't know this because I knew them through somebody else. Like I knew them through someone who I was dating. Well, like it was the guys are friends. She's a girlfriend. I'm a girlfriend. That's the exchanges that we have. We don't hang out separately. Don't have her phone number. Don't know her like that anyway. And I was also under the impression that like, you know, other people maybe were closer with her. Like other girlfriends were closer. And I remember like talking to another girlfriend who again are not my personal friends. I literally see them. These people were not my personal friends. Like I would literally see them like once, twice a year, like big event things that all of these boys were getting together. And I remember finding out that the person who was getting married, who was not there, had made like 3 of these girls bridesmaids. Then they were not close. And I just assumed that they were close. I'm going to tell you right now, some of those girlfriends, those relationships did not last with those guys. And those guys were in the wedding. Like it was just, there was so much pressure there. And even like, I even think at one point it was like floated around, like they had asked someone if they thought that they should invite me to their bachelorette party. And thank God, this other person who I was not close with either was like, no, like you don't know her that well. I don't know her that well. I know her well enough that she doesn't want to go to Vegas and like rage. And they're like, oh, well, yeah, but like, you know, could maybe DD, like she doesn't drink. She's like, what? No, and thank God this person who
they
again,
should hire protector.
Facts. But also like Vegas goes, we have our own things like that. So I just saw how much stress this put on her because her fiance had a fuck ton of friends and it was trying to do the same thing of making sure it looked even up there. And it involved her having to like bond with people while she's trying to have people celebrate her in that time. Like it's just fucking weird. And like there is no reason why, like you should have as many bridesmaids or groomsmen as you both want. And if someone goes, I want them to look even up there. Okay. Whoever has the smallest number, that's what you have then. And if you're like, well, no, I don't want to cut people out, then have more. Have them sit down. Don't stand up there with you.
Right. Or have it so that like 2 people are escorting 1 person. Like something like that. Just not so much. Like I know right now, if I were to get married tomorrow, who my bridesmaids would be, and it's not contingent on who the groom would be at all.
That's a very good way to put that. Like no groom in the picture.
Mm-hmm.
I can, and I'm gonna tell you now, I probably have a list of people.
You could probably name those people.
And I could name the people I would like it to be. And I can make a list of people who I would say, rather not.
And like, those people wouldn't be on the list.
No, they wouldn't be either. We'd be on the same page. We should get married. No. So what I'm thinking, like, I also can like look on like my notes to see who I would write down for like who I would have wanted to have as dream bridesmaids. And like not one of them is contingent on Mott's or anyone I've ever dated before. But like there are people on that list who I am no longer close with, who would not be on there anymore. So like there is, like Melissa said at the beginning, like there are so many times that like people who will be your own personal individual friends, that friendship will not maintain and they will have been in your wedding and like you're no longer friends. And like that's just kind of how life works if you have bridesmaids or groomsmen. Like you're just running the risk of that. But like, holy shit, adding on this is my fiance, this is through them is a whole different level. Like I think if it's a sibling, it's like, okay,
yeah,
whatever. But like, there is absolutely no need for you to have, it's just, and also just like think about like, it is no longer then about you. You are making your specific bridal driven events about him and his comfort level on the day of your wedding, which why the fuck would he even think about making sure there's an even number of, like, you're not going to think about that. Like, let you either walk with 2 people, like it's ironed out already. Like it is not something that you should be in a position or even asking somebody who clearly does not want to spend money on bridal events that you're not that close with. It will ruin the experience for you.
Right. Like Megan would be a bridesmaid for me. And even though Mats and I are friends, I would not expect the groom to have Mats in the wedding.
No, like
that's no.
If someone if for all the weddings that Mats was in, if I had to be a bridesmaid in them, I would have broken up with Mats. I would say, I'm so sorry. I can't fucking do this anymore. Like, and even if you're friends with her, like, it sounds like you are friends with her, but it doesn't sound like that friendship is like one of those things where it's like, oh my God, we would find each other in every lifetime. I don't buy that. It does not seem like that. And weddings are also the time where people really show who they are. It is an incredibly unflattering time for brides and friends and guests alike. Weddings make people fucking crazy. And the people you want there supporting you are the ones who are going to be honest with you, level with you, bring you back down to earth, and not hold that against you afterwards, but also like expect accountability. Like it has to be that if you're going to be like having to swallow the desire for an apology or an acknowledgement for like anything like that, like a tit for tat, like it is going to be miserable and it will ruin your friendship. And then it'll probably ruin his friendship with Jason.
Yep. So just don't have her as a bridesmaid. And that's it.
No.
Now we're going to take a break. When we get back, we'll get into more.
This episode is brought to you by Peacock. The new Peacock original documentary, Matthew Perry, A Hollywood Tragedy, dives deep into the beloved actor's rise to fame and his tragic death. 5 people, including Perry's personal assistant, 2 medical doctors, and an alleged Hollywood drug dealer known as the Ketamine Queen, were charged with conspiracy to illegally provide Perry with the ketamine. Explore the details of the case in this heartbreaking special, streaming now only on Peacock.
Watch the world's biggest tennis stars clash in the California desert at the BNP Paribas Open, live on Tennis Channel.
How do they get to these shots?
Tune in daily for exclusive first ball to last coverage from Indian Wells and witness all of the jaw-dropping action as the game's top men and women square off at one of the greatest events in sports. It's tennis magic you need to see to believe. The BNP Paribas Open, live on Tennis Channel and streaming on the Tennis Channel app.
Saturday presents, in the red corner, the undisputed, undefeated Weed Whacker Guy. Champion of hurling grass and pollen everywhere. And in the blue corner, the challenger, extra strength, Saturday. Eye drops that work all day to prevent the release of histamines that cause itchy allergy eyes. And the winner by knockout is Saturday. Saturday, bring it on.
We are back, and it is time for the next.
Hi, Meghan and Melisa. I am she, her, 23, and my life has been really bananas recently, but I will talk about the drama another time if y'all want to hear it. So last year, I called about giving up on illustration and storyboarding for animation because I thought I wasn't ever going to succeed. After a year of working at a coffee shop and building my portfolio, I can say something has come from it, but now I have to make a decision. First of all, the coffee shop I worked at went out of business last week, so I'm currently unemployed, just for some added context. But the first opportunity I received is to be a part of an apprenticeship program for storyboarding with major studios. I got accepted into a pool of applicants to be placed at a studio, but that could happen a week from now, or a few months from now, or I think never. The program would be 6 months, and I'd probably have to move to LA, and I absolutely would have to be a California resident the whole duration of the program. The second opportunity I got was that I got accepted to an MFA program at one of the best art schools in New York City. That program would start in September, but I have to confirm my enrollment in April. So I could stay and wait for the apprenticeship because it's actual work experience in the industry, but I wouldn't be able to go to grad school. Or I could go to grad school and be disqualified from the apprenticeship program. Also, this is the last year I am eligible for the apprenticeship program because of my age, and I cannot defer enrollment for grad school. So I'm freaking out. Either way, I'd be barely scraping by in a city that's really expensive, but that's okay with me because I just need something. But what do you guys think? What do you think is the better choice? I'd really appreciate your input. I want both of them really bad, but I cannot have both of them. So, what do I do? I hope you have a lovely day today. Okay. Bye.
Bye.
This isn't even a question for me.
This seems very easy to me.
Should we say at the same time? 1, 2, 3.
Apprenticeship.
No, like 100%.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, coffee shop closing this week, it is a sign. And it is not a sign of go to school. It is a sign of pack your bags and move to sunny California.
Yeah. Because school is always going to be there.
Yes.
All this apprenticeship is going to do is make you look even more desirable for school. So let's say you do the apprenticeship and you're like, you know what? I'm not ready. You'll be ready because on the job experience is more important than school. More important. You're going to do the apprenticeship. And then if you decide later you want to go to school, then you can still go to school because now they're going to want you even more than they wanted you before. Also, you said that the apprenticeship is 6 months. The school doesn't start till September. So even if you were like, I'm still not sure. What if you just said yes to school, did the apprenticeship, and then you can still say, I don't understand why you can't say yes to the school, do the apprenticeship. And then once you get to the end of the apprenticeship, then it could be like, oh, actually, I got on the job training. I'm not going to go to school.
Well, I think it's because the apprenticeship sounds like a rolling. Like it sounds like it's not like a specific start day and like that. So, but I agree with everything. Like, and I know this sounds fucking rich coming from someone who dropped out of undergrad, but grad school in the arts is for when you have excessive time, excessive money, or you don't know what you want to do. Mm-hmm. It buys you time. Like that's really what it does. And like, yes, it buys you experience, but mostly it buys you a degree. And like, that's great. It is not make or break for our jobs whatsoever. Like work experience is valued so much more. So like for me, I'm like, do this apprenticeship. And then also if you don't get this apprenticeship, apply for other ones. Like do that. And like you will get so much farther in this and you will ignite that fire in you more and that love and passion for this more by getting experience versus classes over and over. Because you've done that. And also like, I think 23 is really, really fucking young to go to grad school for the arts. I just do, especially because job experience is so valued that like, I'm not going to say that you're going to be behind if you like went to school instead, but I will say that like, you're going to still have to start where everybody else started. Yep. That is just like, it's fundamentally, it's what happens. Like PAs all start at the same place. And some of the PAs dropped out of high school and some of the PAs
went to grad, went to USC
at top of their class. Mm-hmm. Like some of those PAs interned for George Lucas. Some of those PAs worked at Chipotle. Yep. Like it's the same starting level for everyone. It's the same fucking grind for everyone. And I think in general, once you start that process of it, I think that like, I'm not saying like rule out grad school in the future completely, not at all. But I just think that like you are fresh off of honing your skills. You're fresh off of all of these things. And especially because you like last year or something like were like, I don't know if I should do all of that. You need to get out of the fucking classroom and you need to get into there's just no way you will be able to sustain a passion for this and specifically a drive for this because it's not meant to be done just in a classroom. Right. It's meant to be done in practicality and you're not going to grow. I think like if you went to grad school, like 5 years after you've gotten some and you're like, you know what, I kind of want to really focus on a specialty. And I want to go to grad school for that. And that will also open up me to have more experience and more connections.
And I was going to say with you, speaking of connections, with you getting this apprenticeship and then moving to California, it's going to put you around a lot more artists that are doing the same thing. And it will be a great opportunity for you to be around them and network. And also, like, let's say the apprenticeship, like maybe nothing actually comes of it, but now you've got this network of people that you're building up, you're building together. And so that is invaluable. Being physically in LA, and I'm just going to say Disney because that's what I think
that's
it's
the
Disney.
Apprenticeship we know of.
Yes. So being here, saying that you have an apprenticeship with Disney, even if you haven't actively done it, you've still been accepted to the program, then like you will be around other people that are doing the same thing that you're doing. And y'all can build and grow together, even if actually nothing happens with this.
If it's the Pixar one, buy your goddamn fucking ticket yesterday.
Get your ass
here.
here.
Get your ass here. And I have been on both lots, and I just have to tell you, makes my nipples hard literally talking about it. But like the way that the feeling that you will have when you walk on to either of those lots, and you are just amongst peers, it's aspirational. There's a drive and just like a passion and love for that there that can only give you that buzz and that excitement when you are there.
Mm-hmm.
And there's only so much you can be dreaming of it and fantasizing about it. And in general, I also think with the arts, you have to get out of the fucking classroom and you have to get into the real world, because there is a lot of romanticizing things and there's a lot of like expectations and like there's a realism to it. It's not just like this wonderful like all of this. And I think like, hey, if you decided like last year and you're like, I don't know if I should fucking do this anymore. Even there's a 1% of you, I'm telling you, I'm sure it sounds like it would be way fucking worse to deal with moving to LA and then being like, I actually don't want to do this anymore and moving back. Grad school will be so much fucking worse, because it's not that you're going to realize in grad school, you might realize in grad school, and then you're going to finish grad school.
Mm-hmm.
And then then where are we starting from at this point?
Yep.
So there's also like people who work in any aspect of the arts here. It's like people do different jobs and different things, and you can discover things that you never even knew existed that you could do, and you wouldn't know unless you met the people. And I will also say, LA has a reputation for being very expensive. It is. LA is not a hard city to be poor in. Most of people in LA are poor. Like rent is very expensive. People it's not they're going into debt to live in a studio. No, people have like an illegal number of roommates. Like that is just, you're not going to be left behind in that sense. And especially in the arts. Like I feel so, and I'm like very privileged. I have, I'm in a different spot than a lot of like, when I first moved to LA, a lot of like auditioning, struggling actors were. But I remember when I like went to like New York to like visit or like a wedding, something like Mott's friends in New York. And I was like, oh my God, I am the poorest of the poor. Like there's just different cities and different vibes. And I think a lot of people think that it's easier to be poor in New York than it is to be in LA. And it's just not true. Like everybody's struggling. Like Mott's first job is where a lot of people's agency first jobs, they made, I think, an amount of money that you legally could not make today. My agent's first assistant who I worked with was working in an agency, which is a bajillion hours a day, 24 hours a day, was also Ubering, and then was also flipping sneakers like Yeezys and like Nikes and doing all of this kind of stuff, and like hustled. She doesn't even work in agency world anymore. Like there's just, you will make it work, because that is just like the mindset of everyone here. And you'll be among other people who are also making it work. Sometimes with grad school, you're among people whose parents are signing their tuition checks, who are going out for fancy dinners on the week. Like it is not the realistic nature of your industry. And I think in order to fall in love and stay in love with your industry, you have to participate in it, not like earn your stripes or bide your time, because that doesn't work for us the same way it does for like medical school. There is no guarantee. And then suddenly the debt for what you've put into this career is a lot more. And you're going to be more insulted the first job offer you get when it's not a lot of money.
Agree.
Can't wait to welcome you to Los Angeles.
Join our Patreon because there's quite a few people that live in LA and you can have some built-in friends and you're going to succeed and you're going to be awesome. And then you're going to like get us jobs.
Yeah. Like we're counting on you to help get us jobs. That's what we do here. So we'll get you friends. You get us jobs. If you need advice on places to live, if we're right about the internship, I can only imagine it's Disney or Pixar. You can move to the Valley. You do need a car. Yeah. We can help.
Olympics will be here soon. Food's great.
Yep.
The weather is nice most of the year.
I don't know what state you're coming from, but if you're coming from a red state, you're going to love our governor. He's deeply unhinged. And he's also hot.
Yeah.
And he knows he's hot and he's tall. Oh, this is helpful. I don't know if you're straight. Well, there are lots of gorgeous gay girls here. But we also have tall men if you're interested in men. Los Angeles we're not overrun by shorties.
I prefer a short man, but it is what it is.
There still are short men, but like,
I know.
The fact that people were telling me that they get on a dating app and they can scroll for like 30 minutes and there's not one person over 6 feet tall, which means they're all 3 inches shorter than they say they are. That's crazy. We got some tallies over here. The food is great. There's
always something to do.
There's always something to do. There's always something free to do.
Yes.
And there will always be free things to do and cheap places to get, like a taco. There, all of those things. Like LA is not.
There's a way to be super, like, make LA super, not, I would say, like, on paper, LA looks like it's very expensive, but there's a way to live here frugally.
Oh my God. Yeah. I think it's so much easier to be broke in LA than it is to be broke in a vast majority of the United States. Like we don't have the seasons that same way. People have a lot of roommates. And also there's like a camaraderie in that. Like everybody struggles in that way. And I think that's why a lot of people also prefer to be broke in places like New York and LA because you're not the only one. And things are close together. Not everything is like so fucking spread apart that you don't have options for X, Y, and Z or whatever. But
yeah, I mean, even last year, me and my friends made a point to every weekend when we were hanging out, we were doing something free or very low cost.
Yeah, one of those things was going to a movie in the park. And I said, hold up, I've been going to these and paying. What do you mean? This has got this one for free here.
Yeah. We did get attacked by large bugs, but we enjoyed the movie.
That was really scary. Really fucking scary.
All right, we're going to take another break. When we get back, we'll get into an update.
I think you're on mute.
Workday's starting to sound the same.
I think you're on mute.
Find something that sounds better for your career on LinkedIn. With LinkedIn Job Collections, you can browse curated collections by relevant industries and benefits, like flex PTO or hybrid workplaces, so you can find the right job for you. Get started at linkedin.com/jobs. Finding where you fit. LinkedIn knows how.
This episode is brought to you by LifeLock. During tax season, your personal info travels to a lot of places. Between payroll, your tax consultant, and the IRS. If your W-2 gets exposed, that's just the ticket for identity thieves. That's why LifeLock monitors millions of data points every second. If your identity is stolen, they'll fix it guaranteed or your money back. Don't let identity thieves take you for a ride. Save up to 40% your first year. Visit LifeLock.com/podcast. Terms apply.
BTW, FYI. Visit Nexplanon.com RN to learn about Nexplanon. It's an gestural implant, 68 milligrams radiopaque. Or ask your HCP IRL. Okay, TTYL.
We're back, and it is time for a bit of an update. This is an update for the episode on Halloween 2024, Rekindling with an X. I, 23, she, her, am the X Rekindler. It's a fun name to have. We did end up getting together, sort of. I admitted my feelings for them a month or so later, and they reciprocated. So I was very happy, and we planned a time to meet up since they lived about an hour away. I actually spent my birthday with them, and then they took my virginity. I know it wasn't anything to take, but I don't know. It was still a very vulnerable thing. Then afterwards, while I was naked and emotional, I asked if they wanted a relationship with me, and they said, I want a relationship. Oh, no, they said, ugh. I want a relationship with you. Needless to say, that hurt a lot. I was trying not to freak out because I expected, since we both had big feelings for each other, that we would date. Maybe that was a crazy assumption of me, but whatever. It took me like a week to accept it, but I ended things because I realized I was being strung along. I told them I respected myself too much to act like a girlfriend to them without the label. I'm pissed that it's how it all went down, but y'all were right that we were never really friends, so it's probably for the best that they're officially out of my life so I can move on completely. I don't want to be the lesbian stereotype that is friends with their exes.
Fuck girl behavior.
I have to say, if it's a cliche that someone in a writing room would go, how else can we phrase that? You shouldn't be saying it in your everyday. I want to want.
Yeah.
Ick.
But also, let's voice our feelings before we take the big plunge, you know?
Yeah. That is something that I find everybody does, no matter who they're interested in. And like, I've had to have conversations with my friends of being like, I mean, you know, they like me, I like them, so like it's going in a good direction. I'm like, okay, so like what are you? And it's like, oh, you know, we're taking it sober, keeping it casual. And I'm like, are you seeing other people? No. Are they? I don't think so. And it's like,
we got to talk. And I know it's hard. Like I've done it where I've just like fucked somebody and then later been like, well, I like you. And it's like, did I actually like them? But two, this wasn't you can't fuck somebody into having feelings for you.
No. I think that in theory, we think about like, oh, it's not just about what we're saying. It's also about what we're not saying. So if you're saying that you really like someone, you have feelings for them, and they're saying they really like you and have feelings for you too, nobody is saying that they want a relationship. It can't be assumed. Like it's not just a fill in the blanks thing there. But I think in general, rekindling with exes, like it's very easy to get to this point because there is history there. So it can be like picking up where you left off in that way, where other people's feelings they aren't preserved in that same way, that are just like ready to be started right up again. So I think this is like a good boundary for you to draw. And I would work on like not being pissed about the situation, or you could be pissed about the situation, but not being like pissed at yourself, because I hate that whole thing of like, you know, it's all a learning moment. But also, if you want to do something, you're going to do the thing. And then you're not going to learn, or you're not going to like take in what anybody else, like you're going to do what you want to do.
Do it.
And so you honor the fact that that's what you wanted to do. And then the only reason why it doesn't feel like that now is because of the result of that. And so the next time that there's something that you want to do, you're also going to do the thing that you want to do. But like, it's never going to be the exact same thing over and over again. But better than that to like live with regrets, you know? But so, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, but thank you for updating us. And at least you tried.
Yeah. I think trying is the best thing anyone can do ever. You should just try at whatever you're doing. Even if it sucks, if you're not good at it, try. But I also do love quitting.
Yeah. Try and quit. Try, quit, and don't try.
Try something else, then quit that other thing, then try something else. Pick up the thing you did before, quit again. It's the circle of life. We hope you enjoyed this episode. The end. Is that nail polish?
Yeah.
Is that a China glaze?
Yep. All right. Well, next week we'll have a special guest.
Oh, yeah. Do you want to tease it more than that?
Oh, yeah. It's Jerron Milligan, an actor, a comedian, a podcaster as well. He'll be joining us.
And his special's coming out.
He's got a special.
It's funny named. It's like a clever title.
But Did You Die?
And I said, ooh, love that.
Yeah. His manager
that's what people's
told him,
response should be to me for 90% of the things that I say.
Yeah. And his poster for it is him doing this, but he can't naturally do it the way that I can. And his manager told him it was too spooky and it needs to be funnier.
Wait, I liked it.
And I said, no, it doesn't. And he said, I agree. And also, that was the end of that.
The name is But Did You Die?
Right.
Like if we're trying to get less spooky, I think you've got an issue with the name as well.
Yes.
Maybe it should say, but first, coffee.
And then death.
And then death. Don't talk to me before I've had my coffee. Then I can die. Can't die before I've had my cappuccino. Okay. I hope you enjoyed. Call in for an upcoming episode. Write us. Submit on the form. All of that information that we said.
If you want a man's perspective, since we haven't had Mott's on in a while, here you go.
I love that. I think it's going to be fun. We're going to have a boy. Whoa, boy on the podcast. So stay tuned. We've got Fisting Friday tomorrow. And then next week, we have the docket of our regularly scheduled programming. But am I wrong? Fisting Friday. See,
I usually do this.
Yeah, I can't remember how to do it. You can go.
Tomorrow we have Fisting Friday. Monday we have But Am I Wrong? Tuesday, see you next Tuesday. Wednesday, that's your catch-up day if you haven't been listening to episodes. And then Thursday, we'll be back here for Don't Blame Me.
Flawless Amazing. We hope you enjoyed. Follow us on socials everywhere. And toodaloo.
You know, I was spelling it Tottles because that's how I liked it.
Say it. Spell again. I have to write it down so I can see what you mean.
Tottles.
Toddles? Cute.
Too. Sorry.
Oh. Like toot, like a fart.
Mm-hmm.
Les.
That's how I always said it. And I was like, oh no, it's actually a D. This is a new thing that I discovered probably 3 months ago.
Oh, I don't know that I knew that it was a D. I think for me, they were interchangeable.
That's what I thought too. But the correct is tootle.
Oh.
And I don't like it.
I used a caption. I said, what a coinky dink in a caption. And someone's like, now I finally know how to spell coinky dink. And I said, no.
Coinky.
Whatever it was, but they tried to, I don't know how I spelled it, but I spent so long trying to figure it out because some of them were like coin and then some of them have cow.
It's not a real word.
Yeah.
It's coincidence.
Exactly.
So you can spell it however your heart desires. Heart's desire?
Well, I'm the wrong person to ask because that was the name of one of our beaches. Heart's Desire Beach. Stinson and Heart's Desire.
Life is a beach. And then you die.
But not before you've had your coffee.
Goodbye.
This is a Sister Sign production hosted by me, Megan Rinks.
And me, Melissa D. Montz, plus Diamond Imprint Productions.
Post-production by Coco Lorenz.
Production assistance by Melanie D. Watson.
And music by Ryan Hunter and Giacomo Picasso.
Hello, I am Kristen Russo.
And I am Jenny Owen Youngs.
We are the hosts of Buffering the Vampire Slayer once more with Spoilers, a rewatch podcast covering all 144 episodes of, you guessed it, Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
We are here to humbly invite you to join us for our 5th Buffy prom, which, if you can believe it, we are hosting at the actual Sunnydale High School. That's right. On April 4th and 5th, we will be descending upon the campus of Torrance High School, which was the filming location for Buffy's Sunnydale High, to dance the night away to 90s music in the iconic courtyard, to sip on punch right next to the Sunnydale High fountain, and to nerd out together in our prom best inside of the set of Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
All information and tickets can be found at bufferingcast.com/prom. Come join us.
Contained herein are the heresies of Radolf Buntwine, erstwhile monk turned traveling medical investigator. Join me as I study the secrets of the divine plagues and uncover the blasphemous truth that ours is not a loving God, and we are not its favored children. The heresies of Radolf Buntwine, wherever podcasts are available.
I'm Amy Nicholson, the film critic for the LA Times.
And I'm Paul Scheer, an actor, writer, and director. You might know me from The League, Veep, or my non-eligible for Academy Award role in Twisters.
We love movies, and we come at them from different perspectives.
Yeah, like Amy thinks that, Joe Pesci was miscast in Goodfellas, and I don't.
He's too old. Let's not forget that Paul thinks that Dune 2 is overrated.
It is.
Anyway, despite this, we come together to host Unspooled, a podcast where we talk about good movies, critical hits,
fan favorites, must-sees, and in case you missed them.
We're talking Parasite to Home Alone.
From Grease to The Dark Knight.
We've done deep dives on popcorn flicks. We've talked about why Independence Day deserves a second look.
And we've talked about horror movies, some that you've never even heard of, like Ganja and Hess.
So if you love movies like we do, come along on our cinematic adventure.
Listen to Unspooled wherever you get your podcasts.
And don't forget to hit the follow button